Tuesday night in Chicago, George Brett and the Kansas City Royals are playing the White Sox. 1-0 Chicago in the top of the second inning. Kansas City has runners at first and third. Jack McDowell fakes a throw to third base, but turns and catches Bo Jackson off of first base, and he gets tagged out by Ozzie Guillen in the rundown. As a play that never seems to work does work finally. Tartabull would later score on a sacrifice fly. Tied up at 1 in the bottom of the third, Dan Pascal rips a double to right field off of Andy McGaffigan. Lance Johnson scores RBI 51 for Pascal, who slides in with the double. And it's 2-1 Chicago after 3. Nice defensive play by Scott Fletcher in the top of the fifth inning. He makes a diving stop to his right on Kevin Seitz's ground ball, tosses to Guillen for the force out at second to end the fifth inning. A fine play by Fletcher of the White Sox. We'll take one more look as he makes the diving stop, tosses over to Guillen from his knees for the out. 2 on, second and third for the White Sox in the bottom of the fifth inning, and Dan Pascal will get a base hit to right field, and that would score Lance Johnson and Ivan Calderon. 3 RBIs on the night now for Dan Pascal, and the White Sox lead by a score of 4-1. Top of the eighth inning, KC will get 2 runs on this Danny Tartabull double to left center field. Brian McRae and George Brett score RBIs 55 and 56 for Tartabull, and that made the score 4-3 Chicago. Move now to the bottom of the eighth inning. Ivan Calderon at the plate for the White Sox, and he'll rip a solo homer just over the leap of McRae in center field. It's his 12th homer of the year, RBI number 66, as the Sox extend their lead to 5-3. They add one more for the 6-3 final as Bobby Thigpen closes the door in the ninth to pick up his 48th save, as he extends his major league record on saves in a season.
To take on Cleveland, and the Indians go ahead 2-0 in the top of the second as Corey Snyder hits a 2-run home run off of Kevin Brown. Home run number 14 on the year for Snyder. With the score now 3-0 Cleveland. Move now to the bottom of the third. That's when the American Association Rookie of the Year and MVP Juan Gonzalez will pick up home run number 1. This one off of Cleveland starter Sergio Valdez, and it would cut Cleveland's lead over the Rangers to 3-1. Still in the bottom of the third, this time it's Jack Doherty. Doherty's 4th home run of the season, a 2-run shot into the right field seats, and we are tied up at 3. But then in the top of the 5th inning, Cleveland's Carlos Baerga would give the Indians the lead back. Baerga, home run number 6, this one into right center field, and the Indians take the lead 4-3. That homer off of starter Kevin Brown. The Indians would add 3 more to make it 7-3, 2 of them from Jerry Brown. Here in the top of the 6th inning, Brown greets reliever John Barfield with this 2 RBI double to the left field wall. 2 runs will score before Felix Fermin is nailed at home plate. It was later 7-3 Cleveland. That lead would be cut to 7-5 when Rafael Palmeiro will homer off of Doug Jones in the bottom of the 8th, his 13th, to make the final 7-5. Sergio Valdez would get the win. He is now 3-5. Kevin Brown taking the loss, dropping to 12-10. Tom Selleck continues his major league tour, visiting Baltimore as the Orioles are home to take on the Seattle Mariners. Orioles losing 9 of their last 10, and it was a rejuvenated Ken Griffey Sr. that would give the Mariners a 3-0 lead. This 3-run double, Griffey's 1st, 2nd, and 3rd RBI as an American leaguer in the top of the 2nd inning. And much to the enjoyment of a few other statesmen themselves, as President Reagan and a few of his friends are on hand to cheer both squads, and they would have some cheering to do for Baltimore as Bill Ripken would put the Orioles on the board with his 2nd home run of the season. This one a solo shot to left field to make the score 3-1, that off of starter Eric Hansen. Nice effort here by Orioles first baseman Jeff McKnight. This in the 4th inning as McKnight goes to the wall, flipping over it, trying to get a Scott Schaefer ball. Did make the catch and was all right. To the top of the 6th, where the Mariners would score 3 more times to make it 6-1. Run number 5 coming on this Omar Vizquel RBI single past the drawn-in infield, scoring Greg Biley. And then it's Harold Reynolds with his 43rd RBI. This single into right field, scoring Dave Valley. The 2 teams would exchange runs to make the final 7-2. Eric Hansen going to 13-9, picking up the win. Hansen striking out 7, allowing just 4 hits through 7. Harnish taking the loss, dropping to 10-10. Under a full moon in Milwaukee Tuesday evening, Brewers home to take on the Twins. That's probably what the baseball looked like to the Twin players as they explode for 19 hits and 7 runs. Gary Gaetti starting things off in the top of the first. This 2 RBI double, RBI 73 and 74 for Gaetti, and it was 2-0 Minnesota. In the top of the sixth, the Twins would go ahead 3-0. Kent Hrbek with this RBI into right field. RBI 71 for Hrbek as Liriano scores to make it 3-0. With the score 4-0, move down to the top of the seventh, and Kirby Puckett would give the Twins a 5-zip lead as he scores an RBI single through the middle off of reliever Paul Mirabella. RBI 71 for Puckett. It is 5-0. Make it 6-0, still in the top of the seventh. Kent Hrbek, his second RBI of the game, scoring once again Nelson Liriano, once again off of Paul Mirabella. This one into the left center field gap. It was 6-0. Twins went ahead 7-0 as Tim Drummond would come on in relief when an injured David West had to leave. Drummond pitching 5 2/3 innings, giving up just 4 hits. He would leave with the 7-0 lead. Unfortunately, would lose the shutout when Jack Savage would give up this home run to Greg Vaughn. But that would be it for the Milwaukee Brewers as the final is 7-1. Tim Drummond gets the win, goes to 3-4. Tom Edens taking the loss for the Twins as he drops to 3-2.
Tuesday night baseball action from Tiger Stadium in Detroit as the Tigers play host to the Toronto Blue Jays. Pick up action in the top half of the third inning. Frank Tanana tries to get a breaking pitch past Mookie Wilson, but instead Mookie Wilson parks it into the upper deck in left field. Number 3 for Wilson, RBI number 42. The Blue Jays are on top by a score of 1-0. In the bottom of the third inning, Frank Wills pitching a fine ball game early on for the Blue Jays. Strikes out Tony Phillips for his 5th victim of the evening. Then in the top of the fourth inning, nice play by Cecil Fielder at first base. Manny Lee will foul out to Fielder. He runs over and then makes a nice sliding catch by the first base stands, and that ends the top half of the fourth inning. Then in the bottom of the fourth inning, Mark Salas will tie this game up with a double down the right field line, which brings home Travis Fryman. RBI number 21 for Salas, and the game is tied up at 1 apiece. Then the bottom of the seventh inning, the Tigers will get the game-winning runs when Alan Trammell will step up to the plate and hit a ground rule double into the gap in left center field. Chet Lemon and Tony Phillips both score. RBIs number 81 and 82 for Trammell. As the Tigers win at 3-1. Paul Gibson with the win, his record now 4-4. Dwayne Ward with the loss, his record drops to 2-8. Mike Henneman earns his 20th save as the Tigers win it 3-1. Tuesday night baseball action from Los Angeles as Tommy Lasorda and the Dodgers play host to the Houston Astros. They would jump out early and to a big lead in this ball game, and it starts out in the bottom of the first inning off starter Mark Portugal. Cal Daniels with a 2-run home run to right field as Stan Javier also scores. Number 22 for Daniels, RBIs number 68 and 69, and the Dodgers are in front by a score of 2-0. Then the bottom of the second inning with the Dodgers up by a score of 3-0. Manager Art Howe will just sit back and watch as Cal Daniels hits another home run. This time a grand slam home run to center field. Number 23 for Daniels, RBIs number 70, 71, 72, and 73 as Ramon Martinez, Lenny Harris, and Stan Javier all score. And the Dodgers are comfortably in front by a score of 7-0. But as Tommy Lasorda has seen with this Dodger team a couple of weeks ago against the Philadelphia Phillies, no lead is too big. And here in the top of the fourth inning with LA up by a score of 7-1, Eric Anthony hits a 3-run home run to right field. Number 8 for Anthony as Gedman and Rhodey both score. And the Dodger lead is cut to 7-4. Then the top of the fifth inning, Glenn Davis will triple to right field. Look at how much room they give him in right field as this one just stays fair. As Oberkfell and Stubbs both score. RBIs number 49 and 50 for Glenn Davis. And all of a sudden the Dodger lead is cut to 7-6. Glenn Davis with a poor attempt at a slide is tagged out at third base as he overruns the bag. Dodger manager Tom Lasorda having a migraine headache from this ball game, and it would only get worse in the top of the sixth inning with the game tied up at 7 apiece. Former Dodger Franklin Stubbs hits a liner to right field, goes off the glove of Hubie Brooks and goes all the way to the wall. Ken Oberfeld scores from first base as Stubbs winds up on third, and the Astros lead it by a score of 8-7. They now lead it by a score of 9-7 as they play on in the 8th inning.
The Chicago White Sox may unretire uniform at number 9 soon. The uniform belonged to 5-decade man Minnie Minoso. The 67-year-old has been taking some batting practice with the White Sox the past couple of days, and rumors have him playing with Chicago before the year is out to make him a 6-decade player. Minoso, who played 9 games in 1949 with Cleveland, is a lifetime .298 hitter. The last time he got a hit was at age 53 here in September of 1976. He last played in 1980 for Chicago, pinch hitting for 2 games, but he went hitless. But that was at age 57. He's now supposedly making a comeback at age 67.